G'day everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be my Knackers Yard. It's chuffing cold, so let's get inside and sort out Charlie's CB200 tank. Hopefully the last video on it, I think. So back in the warm, and this is how the tank is looking. So this is post Pro XL, which is just really good stuff. Aside from the fact it's a good thick lacquer, it's also good petrol proofing abilities as well, which I have tested on the channel. Feel free to dig it out. It goes on beautifully. It really does. It is prone to running, so if you go heavy, expect to be rubbing it back. But if you do several light coats, you should be okay. Now, I can still feel a ridge because obviously I've got more black paint than blue. So what I'm going to do is start rubbing that down. Now, this is a heartbreaking phase because what I've got there is a perfectly acceptable shine. I'm not worried about the layer across the middle because the plastic rubber thing goes over there. The runners go on, obviously, on here. So realistically, I'm concentrating on the visible edge. Also, if I'm trying to rub into that edge there, I really risk rubbing through the top, which can be very visible. So yeah, less effort on the uppers. I might go and grab the plastic actually, just so I know where I'm concentrating on. But you know, you could happily just chuck that back on a bike. Be fine. I've got a mark there where a fucking bug landed on my wet as I was going through it. I'm just rubbing more shit over it. Yeah, it is heartbreaking, but I'm going to break out the 1500, 2000, 2500, 1500 really fucking super wet, not spraying it and doing it as in wet bucket of water stuff. Get it down and go for what I tend to refer to as a bowling ball shine over the top. I think I'm going to stick some tape over the edge here. Now, bearing in mind the Honda badge is quite big, I don't want to be rubbing over the top because I'm rapidly going to hit bare metal, which is going to rust if I'm not careful. So I'd rather leave like untreated paint, if you like, because at least it's going to protect the metal rather than go into that too far. So I'm going to chuck some tape over those. Right, let's get going. Right, so there we go. That's a long session of 1200 on there, and it's got that nice, I mean, I call it a bowling ball shine. It's just flattened out. There's the odd little bit. It's a garden job. It's never going to be great, but I've really concentrated on getting rid of that lip. I've got a tiny bit more to do there. The lip of the paint, so obviously there's different levels of paint because there's different amounts of paint, and I just want to try and just whip those back a little bit. So I've got a tiny bit more to do on that side. That's paper stuck to it. I shut myself then. I do have a slight mark from the bug, but I can't do anything about that. I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm good on that side. A little bit more down the bottom, so I've got a little bit of a lip on the edge there. So a little bit more 1200 to do, and then see how we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. I've lost the lips now. I've now been over it with 2000, 2500. I've got some slight flecking, but they're in places I don't want to rub hard because I'm in danger of losing paint. So this is really a bit of an iterative process. So I'm going to go on to my cutting compound. I think I'm going to do it by hand, because there's just too many edges that I can catch and whip the paint off. Sorry, my hands are wet. So compound it, get it down and see if I can get rid of the flecking complete. Let's get on with it. Okay, so that's the compounding done. I haven't got any big areas that I've missed. I'm actually quite pleased with that. You can see the difference on the bits that I haven't really touched, nor do I intend to, because they're covered by the strip across the middle. And I don't want to ruin the edges or anything like that. So that's good. Right, so the stuff I use Mother's rubbing compound. It's
really light. So I used Halford stuff before, it's a bit more gritty. This is my attempt to not get so many swirls on it. It doesn't have so much bite, you do have to work it harder. But yeah, I think we're getting there. Now I'm going to go for my Meguiar's Colour Restorer first, give it a couple of those just on the buffing wheel, and then bring you back in. Right, there we go. It's a couple of doses of Meguiar's Colour Enhancer, and you can already start seeing a reflection on it. So let's get some Tech Wax 2 on it. And there we go. I'm afraid I got a bit carried away, so that's got a couple of Tech Wax on it. I've thrown all the bits on it as well. That is now done. Fucking bug is immortalised in it, but hey, that's what you get for working in a shed. So the metal beams were just metal polish on it. That's all it was. I gave the cap a quick go on my polisher, but it's tarnished. If it's going to be perfect, it needs rechroming, but it looks more than good enough. And I resorted over a couple of evenings in the week to boot polish on that. It's not leather. Somebody said it was leather. It's not. It's just rubber. So it just needed a bit of love. It's a bit gammy around the edge there. Let's see if there's a way of doing something with that. But job's a good one. What do you think, people? I think Charlie will be happy with that. Ready for pickup, Charlie? I'm desperate to see what it looks like on the bike. Cheers all. I'll catch you later. Ta-da.